that April was looking for, but Isabel was unaware of what it actually meant. So she heard the color red, very specifically, loud and clear. So, and then she heard, "You're not the father," which I also.
Oh. You are not. All right, we get more to show on here. All right, I'm tuned in. I'm here.
So again, I can only prove so much. We also, I told you about the WC that said, "Right, look at me," kind of thing. But we also had the letters JR show up after we dispersed. John Rackham, second lover. So again, I'm pretty stoked about that. Did you get any numbers or readings out of yours, April? Nothing at all?
Just like some spikes of going to like 4.6 and up to nothing that went
Where
high.
was the 4.6? Because that's pretty high for this spot.
So it went like about right in this spot right here.
Okay. So kind of close to that light over there, where there could be lights, like electrical pieces on the ground. Okay. So 4.6 is a high thing for this location, unlike the Pinckney Mansion site where that would be like, yeah, we can get it much higher than that. So those are the things I'm excited about. Oh, we did have the word France that showed up on the word list, and you're not even close to the count this time, by the way. So as far as the words, right now we're at 64. You predicted 93. So it's going to be a little uncanny if you guessed it both nights. But the word France is relevant in this location in one of two ways. So the first, French Quarter, for one, and the powder magazine behind me did serve in the French and Indian War. So it was one of the 7 wars that it did serve, the Civil War being one of them. So again, we've been getting a lot of terms like Indian around here, and the word war shows up quite a bit around here as well. So, for those of you with cameras, go ahead and kill those cameras, go ahead and shut them down. But the laser piece too, like, we've caught things with those where it's a matter of, like, we can't determine what the hell just went through there. It's definitely not a bug, it's large pieces, those kind of mentalities. So, hopefully...
Yeah. She saw something what looked like an orb, but you obviously...
Yeah, you would.
Did you say something on the camera?
I think I did.
I said, no, that's a pothole. And
then she saw it.
And then I looked longer and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what location was that? Where were we?
It was right
across
the
alley.
I think it was it in the alley?
It was like right across from the alley.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like where the horsemen were coming by?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just so
Because
I know
it was
how to
like
mark
in the
it.
road because she thought it was the pothole.
I mean, there were 2 potholes.
Yeah, because there was like 2 potholes and then she saw the thing, like the same thing.
Were you guys
I saw.
expecting her to fall in?
Hopefully not.
All right.
Hopefully not.
Oh, they're gonna go check out the front. It looks like,
got it.
and then you guys will wrap this party up and see what's going on. I am very excited about the WC, and he had JR show up,
That
which is John
WC was
Rackham.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name again? The
William Cormack for the father, but he had JR show up after we dispersed, so that's John
Oh.
Rackham. So that's one of the lovers.
Okay.
Oh, and Isabel heard the color red and didn't know what it meant. That's the color of Anne Bonny's hair.
She actually heard it.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Cool.
The cool thing is that it's recording, so I'll
So
be able
we
to
can hear
verify
it too.
Right.
See if I'm hearing things.
How's our word list coming, ladies? Good. Anything else?
I really want to like give this back to him. And then,
Yeah,
Get on,
yeah.
catch on.
Yeah.
Take you on the road.
I know. Should I just press?
Just like put it by his back. I don't know. Oh my god, come on.
Record it. Who was it? Who yelled?
Maybe it's the inmate. Got him. Oh my god. I'm good.
Oh shit! What the fuck is that?
I'm gonna Google that about the inmate.
Yeah.
See who got loose.
Someone's like actually yelling over there
Do they need help?
though. Do you guys need help? Yell! I need help.
There's a ghost here.
There might be a ghost here.
I have a laser. To set off a car alarm.
Yes. Oh my! Can you imagine just setting off like every single car alarm though? That'd be kind of sick. That'd be kind of cool. Where's the powder thing?
Powder magazine?
I just got ruined by mosquitoes, so
Yeah, I could feel it my feet.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
yeah.
It's because you're in this atmosphere. You're right, that's why. Yes.
Yeah.
It's hot because it's not good.
Oh.
What were we supposed to ask you?
Her.
Are you a boy or a girl?
Her hair.
Fuck my lasers. Yeah, you just have to keep pointing them.
Just keep pointing them.
Just keep...
Imagine.
Wait, I think we're past the now.
No, I think we can go like over here. I think we're good like over here. We just can't go up those. I think those are people's apartments. I think the cemetery is behind us that way, maybe. The more I keep moving, the less I'm gonna get ruined by these bugs. So, oh, whoa, what was that?
What?
It's like a low voice that just popped through yours. Freaking weird. I'm gonna need a beverage before we go home.
You need to get one out. I'm so hot.
Actually, we could definitely do one at home. It is be hot.
Oh,
Loud song.
Is the cemetery over here?
I think so. Yeah.
Alright,
Let's go over there.
let's go get real spooky and go into a fucking cemetery at night. If I'm gonna get bitten by bugs, I want to go to the spookiest place possible. Voice.
the shades aren't there.
I'm guessing you don't work tomorrow, right?
Right over here. Yeah, but I feel like we could probably go right there, maybe. Shall we go like between those things right there? Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. Oh, yeah.
Are you recording?
Yeah. I put it through here.
That is a little bit random that that kid's thing did say WC and that was supposedly the guy's initials, but
Yeah.
who knows if he just changes the name.
And twice. Well, we should Google it. We should definitely Google it later.
Oh. As loud as I think it is. It is 10:50. Oh my god. Now we can take a shower. It's so
Yeah.
hot. What did you say? Good luck. Oh. Thank you. Well, this was worth $1. Like a 960. Should I try to set a car alarm off of this?
Oh my gosh. No, but not until we hand it in, and then we can, and then we run. I think that's been 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
To the bone.
Someone brought their dog. I feel like the dogs are better like.
The dog sees all the ghosts. And
I feel like the dog sees all the ghosts. Like he's shook right now. Look at him. He's like, no, we should stay here. We should go the fuck back. Oh, there he is. All right. Good time.
Alright, what are we getting out of yours?
Nothing.
Nothing. So
Nothing.
I would tell you that, because I haven't had that one very long either, the second night we were using it, I was wrapping things up, the person handed it back to me, it said pirate the minute they handed it back to me. It wasn't like part of a sentence, it was just the word pirate, just like that. The cool thing is that they were close enough to a camera where we had the audio piece from it. Did you guys check out the cemetery, or did you guys go into the front?
We walked over there.
Are
Yeah.
there groups over there?
Yeah, but they had just left when
Okay.
we walked over.
I seen that Mike's group was going over there. He's like the only other person I actually talked to in this industry. So, I actually wanted to show you. Actually, let's head over towards the wall. I wanted to show you what we caught from the camera. So you know what you're looking for more.
They're ready to party with our lasers. Oh goodness, this is close.
So this is exactly where we're standing right now. That's me demonstrating the lasers with somebody else on a much smaller group that we weren't using, but watch right here as it starts to come through. So again, it changes direction, and it's slowed down, like way slowed down, so I can kind of study what the actual shape of it was. But yeah, it was almost like it seen me and went the other way. There's other pieces that I caught from Lodge Alley, very small and minute, but it has to show up in the camera and stay within the camera to disappear before I'm going to call it. Otherwise, it's going to be an insect. So again, as far as like what we caught in real time, we're pretty light tonight. So I can kind of like see the yawns. I can see the sitting down. I'm like, shit, I really wish more was coming through tonight, but I can't make
It's hot.
it is
hot.
hot. But again, ghosts aren't on the payroll, so
And the bugs.
I can do anything.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't think the bugs were too bad tonight. Like, I'm not
Oh,
bit up.
they love me.
Okay.
I have like 10 new bites.
Yeah, I didn't feel any either.
No, because I was there, so you were good.
But hopefully, like because it looks like, I mean, you recorded a good portion of the night. So
Yeah.
When I spot check everything, it's a matter of like for every 5 minutes of recording, I watch at least 1 minute. So that way I give you a good amount of my time when I'm going through it in the morning. So hopefully you're steady enough to where it's not like, all right, she was jumbling around here, this is all ground.
Oh, God.
Kind of thing.
No, I had it steady.
So where'd you guys eat dinner at that you were running late? Just curious.
Rudy Royale.
Yeah.
Rudy Royale.
We did
Our waiter, we were on time.
We did ask for our check almost 3 times.
Yes.
How was it?
That's fine.
It was good, but the waiter just it was 3 times until he got the check to us. We were like, fuck, we're late.
I wasn't upset by any means. Like I said, 9:01, I usually get started no matter who's there, and it's, you guys seen the intro, how it's like, hey, this is what's going to happen, and I do that on purpose so that we just don't miss the time. So somebody walking in 5 minutes late, it wasn't a big deal. So I wasn't like, I got good here. And one of the reasons why you actually have that is because you're short.
Yep. Fair enough.
And of course, Ari's like, I don't care, I'm going to film everybody.
Are they gonna get upset?
Yeah.
Hi. Bye.
The reason why is those people behind me did not pay to get filmed. Yes, they do get upset. So,
Maybe come get upset with me.
and then I'll get the ticket. So,
I get the ticket.
with that said, let's talk about this place behind me. Did you guys hear anything along the way here, by the way? Can I see your word list? Can I see maybe something's hidden in there that I didn't? Ooh, the word yet. It is very, very quiet.
Right?
And we have the word horse. Yeah. That was when we were walking down East Bay Street, it looks like.
We're all worried about Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sneaking around the city, right? Still nothing I'm excited about it. And then Isabel, we've got to get you to spit out a couple things out of that guy. So hopefully you start hearing things between this space and the next one. Again, it's not an easy job. So the place behind me is called Philadelphia Alley now. It used to be called Jewelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So we all tell the same story over here, only I tell it a little bit differently because you're ghost hunting. You need different details than the people behind me that are just getting a campfire ghost story. So here's how this one goes. There's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She's an attorney that's helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that the doctor is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. So Dr. Ladd comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. As he's coming into town, a coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay in Charleston. So that guy's name was Ralph Isaacs that was walking by and saw what was going on. I'm going to stop on Ralph because Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. R.I. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. Before we even had the little Ouija board device, R.I. would show up on all of the spirit boxes from time to time. Weirdest thing. Random letters that we would hear. So, Ralph tells the doctor, you don't want to stay here, dude. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. He's got a gunman inside. The two become friends because Ralph basically told him that you can stay with some friends of mine at 59 Church Street. So he take them up on the offer, and now they're friends. He had an R that shows up. Let me know if there's an I.
So as soon as you mentioned R, just went off.
Craziness. We'll see if the I shows up too. But again, that's two different characters. We'll need a secondary clue so we know who it belongs to. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. So he becomes known as the Whistling Doctor because that means Amanda's moving down soon because he's proving he wasn't just after her money. So the Whistling Doctor is kind of a cliche, right? It's a whistling ghost. Every haunted city you're ever going to go to has a cliched whistling ghost. Charleston's no different, but there is proof of this one, which we're going to get into. So Ralph and the doctor go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. So one night they go see Richard III, and I believe on your tour I told you it was William III. That was wrong. It was Richard. So Richard III, and they're talking about this play on the way home because they can't sit next to each other during the play. They're arguing over the new actress. Dr. Ladd thought she was fantastic. Ralph not so much. It gets really heated when Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. So once it gets ugly, they go their separate ways. Ralph being from here, he puts an ad in the newspaper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. It's kind of a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Dr. Ladd sees the newspaper ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Jewelers Alley. We're going to settle this. Somebody's going to die. So they come down, they take their 10 paces, they turn. The doctor pointed his gun in the air and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight.
It's called a muscle.
Yeah, right. So Ralph has his one shot. Puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So Dr. Ladd doesn't die either. He drops to the ground. His friends pick him up. They carry him home to 59 Church Street where he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. He's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed out this bullet himself. So kind of keep that in mind. The campfire part of this is that when you're walking down the alley, you can hear the whistles from the doctor. It's all about the voice recordings. So when I used to take my teams all the way through there, it was all about the voice recorder that's on my bag. It was spirit boxes down because we weren't using earbuds yet, and it was a matter of listening for any kind of whistling in the background. If you're going to try this on your own, use your voice recorders on your phone, but I'm going to kind of give you a heads up. Every local knows this story. So anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street from the other side is going to throw a whistle down the alley. I do it every single night on my way back home. We're going to end up there. My garage is right there, which means I have to pass the alley in order to be able to get to my car. So yes, I throw a whistle every night if I get thrown out. So here's how I got thrown out, because that's the fun part, right? That's how everybody wants to know. This alley didn't always come all the way through. which means it was blocked off on this side. That also means that the bricks on the other side are older. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave kids. So there's a full handprint and fingerprint swipes at the end of this alley that I would always show off. Now, I would always show them off because it's part of history. Everybody needs to see it. Show how far away we've come from slavery. However, that handprint, everybody wants to try to get a reading out of it. And I treat you want to move forward a little bit. You got a sprinkler right next to you. So, didn't want to phone up in here.
That's a big guy right there.
Now, that brick with the handprints in it, I treat it the same way I do a grave. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. But everybody wants to try to get a reading out of it, or an EMF detection, something going along with it. So, one night, somebody was, my entire group, November 26th, 2020, decided they're going to huddle around that brick and try to get a reading. It's right outside the gentleman's dining room window. There's a second cars passing. What's that? So, with that said, the gentleman at the end that lives at the end of this mansion decided to come out of his beautiful mansion because we were outside of his dining room window, and we were not supposed to be there. Again, I was out of bounds and in the wrong, but he come out screaming, and my daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting screamed at. She was on the tour that night. The next day was Thanksgiving. I did not have a tour. So the next day after that was November 28th. Yes, these dates mean something. I'm getting to it. November 28th, I had a phone call asking me to go down halfway like everybody else, or to reroute my group. And I thought it was not fair for my group of 10 to try to investigate around half of an alley, around 20 to 60 other people, because we're allowed to go to 20. So I decided to reroute and tell my team, I don't believe in the story I'm about to tell you, but we're going to go see what happens anyway. We're going to wing it and see what goes on. Before we left, somebody actually heard the name Anne before we left. I did not tell them we were going to be investigating the female pirate Anne Bonny. So I was like, all right, maybe something's going to happen. We'll see. I told what little bit I did know about pirates, and then somebody hears the number 300. I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I went home and did the research, and it turns out we were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. These are things I can't make up, nor did I even want to find. So, with that said, I keep taking you guys back up there night after night in hopes that we're going to continue to capture more evidence. Now, I will tell you that the Pinckney Mansion site was... What did you say?
He was just like...
Gotcha. So, not at all. Not on a Saturday night. Where we're going, the Powder Magazine can be a hit or miss location. The Pinckney Mansion site was really weak for us tonight, I'm not going to lie. So it is one of those things where I have no idea what's going to happen or what is actually happening on your devices right now that are recording. Hopefully I find something relative to the doctor. So we're going to head up to the Powder Magazine, and we're going to just stay out of the way of the other tours. So again, I like to take us to the back of the Powder Magazine so we can get started, and it will be a full-blown investigation where lasers will be back in play, and I'll let you guys kind of visit the cemeteries on your own, and we're going to spread out a little bit. So we're going to let this group pass, and then we're going to follow them. So do we have anything crazy on our word list over there while we're waiting? Nothing came up? Presentation.
It's an animal.
Anything on yours? Or were you listening to me?
I'm trying to listen to you.
I know, it's not
This
easy
is just going on.
I know, it's not an easy
It could
task
be
to do.
something.
Alright, let's head up and go look for some crazy pirates.
Yeah, I do see it.
Sounds like the soberest women from the under. What the fuck?
Started recording.
So it just gets so hot, and I was just like so annoyed.
You live 2.5 hours north of here. Not a 2.5-hour car ride for Eliza. She didn't have a car. So lots of letter writing. The word pen that would have came into play where I was looking for something along those lines with your word list that showed up. We do have the words quill, ink, paper, pen, anything, dealing with letter writing, because that's what her and Eliza would have done back and forth. So we do have the word pen, but I don't have another clue to verify it as anything paranormal. I would, especially with something as loose as pen and not quill, I would expect the name Harriet to show up pretty bluntly. Eliza's death, if anybody was asking about any of those details, Eliza was 70 years old when she passed away in 1793. We will get the numbers 70 and 93 all on the same night. She was going to Philadelphia, getting treatments for whatever they thought she had. It turned out to be breast cancer. We didn't know what breast cancer was in 1793, going off of her medical records. So again, it's one of those pieces where you have to kind of go back and forth with this. Would Eliza know what breast cancer is now and tell us that through the radio stations? It's a possibility. If she's been here this long, she knows what a car is. She sees it every night. Now, she died in Philadelphia. She's buried in Philadelphia. Weird thing about that is a couple of questions. Baby George, if that theory is true, they would have transported mummified baby George all the way to Philadelphia from this location, if that theory is true, by horse and carriage. I just don't want to be that driver. That's a long trek. It's like Oregon Trail stuff, right? So, for those of you remembering Oregon Trail. The other piece is, why is Nick not taking us to cemeteries? None of you are going to hang out near a grave when you're gone. Nope. Like, let's just put it out there. Whenever I go to a cemetery, I get very minimal activity. I'm taking you to legitimately haunted locations. And let's face it, if you're dead and you had a mansion while you were alive, you're going to travel the 400 miles to go to your mansion when you're gone. That's why I take you to the spaces that I actually take you and not legitimate cemeteries. So, this space is an intelligence road. You can ask questions. It's going to be the button all the way to the right on top of the camera.
Okay.
You got yours, and then yours is the...
Should just be any words I hear, even if it doesn't make sense.
No matter how silly you think it might be.
Okay.
So the fact that you're telling me classic rock, you don't know that she wasn't also a geologist.
Yeah.
She wasn't.
Or killed by a rock.
You got it.
Yeah.
You're getting it.
No, that's what I said. I just
Yeah,
said that.
she
I'm
said
like,
that.
That's the exact
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But that's exactly what.
All right, so we have to listen
Yep.
closely.
You got
All right.
All right.
I got it. We're on it.
Listen closely for any hints. I'm gonna really be shook if we like see this later and there's shit on there. I will be shook. See what we got to see what else. Oh, now she's trying to be quiet. Is there like a volume on here?
Just cause another one.
Someone was talking.
Someone was talking.
Also, the other woman from our group is casually across the street.
I was gonna say, why is that group on the other
Yeah,
side?
she's having a good time.
She was fucking funny.
Yeah, she's definitely not here for a long time. She's definitely here.
So are we supposed to see mine with the naked eye, or with
I think with the naked eye, but I think we are a trio. So yours can't record sound
Yeah, I can only
And
visual, and yours
maybe-
can only capture.
in live.
Yeah, but I don't know if it would do it in live time though, because there's no grids. Like when I'm like
Looking at it?
yeah, there's
Oh,
no
yeah,
grids.
wow.
See, yeah,
did you
there's
see
no
the dot?
only
Yes.
the dot, but no grids. There's no grids.
Oh, this one.
I think we're supposed to watch. Are we supposed to watch the dot?
I think we may be supposed to watch for that. Like in here, I can see that one in the inner circle, but not the outer one.
Was it you that told me you had a place nearby? Where? Like where you live? No.
Yeah, dude, that's kind of cool.
Gotcha. I get a lot of people telling me about haunted places where they live.
Oh, I have tons of haunted places in Utah where I live.
Oh, that's right. You're in Utah. You're way out there.
In California, we have our other house. So it's haunted.
Your camera, by the way, loves to pick up orbs, so it's not always going to be about recording on the lasers.
Okay.
It will pick up orbs, and it is probably, out of the cameras I've used, that one is the major upgrade that I just did.
Okay.
So it has caught quite a few so far that I can't explain.
Okay.
So again, that's why we changed the lights on them, to make sure it wasn't the lighting and things
Okay.
like that. So.
Oh, I like that. I hope I pick up an orb.
would be cool.
I think an orb is cool. Because I feel like I've seen those like before, and I'm like, what are those? Another dinner. Let's see. So I'm gonna scope around here for some orbs. Let's see if I get. Let's see if I pick up any orbs.
Yeah, you get those orbs.
I'm gonna get them. If they like weed, they're gonna definitely come to me. So. I know. What's that?
I know. It's unlikely. Great view of stuff.
I feel like they might have found something. I feel like that group might have found something because he's like chilling over there.
Maybe. I think they got the coolest stuff.
They definitely did get the
They've got the weed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. But I have weed.
Alright, are we hearing anything over here?
No.
Nothing at all. It's been really
Just the
good
radio.
light.
Just the radio.
Yeah, and that's what you want. Again, remember, if it's classic rock,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's a DJ or a commercial of some sort.
Yeah.
For advertising, that's what you want. Because again, disembodied voices, the growls that you hear on the TV shows, most of that's BS. So again, the 12 that they're giving you per episode, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I get about 4 or 5 of those a year, and they're way clearer than somebody grumbling.
Okay.
So that's just not the way that normally works. It's normally very, very clear.
Okay.
Alright.
But again, it's all about, this is just a different method of how to use these type of boxes because it does give you a lot of messages out of it. It's like Bumblebee from Transformers if you've ever seen it.
Yes.
The same principle.
Yes.
So, alright, I'm going to take one more check-in with Isabel and then I'm going to pull us to the back. So, I know
Perfect.
holding lasers is not always a fun job. I'm so sorry. She's like, anybody yelled at me?
Where's
If you
my
want us
beverage?
Nikki, we can. You
Yeah.
can have the box.
Yes.
So you can listen to
Or you
classic
can,
rock.
yeah, or you can see the camera. Spirits.
Alright, let's rein it in. Let's come back to the
Yes,
back.
come to me and my pen.
The last one was getting jammed full because it was just packed tight, and I was afraid that that new Envoy that Andrew's using was going to break. The wife hooked me up with this thing, it's giant. Like,
Use it, aren't you?
It's a
Can
low
you
pro.
just?
Camera.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, this one is way better than the keep upgrading everything.
You should.
Company money, what do you care?
Tax deduction.
Right, every bit of it. Alright, so none of you are really giving me any terms for your communication devices, except for we have basically a Dr. Seuss book coming out of the Ouija board over there. We had like Jaws, Fox. What else did you get out of there? Saw. Like just a bunch of weird terms that really don't make a whole lot of sense here. The worst case scenario is if something else pops up when I'm going through the recording with Isabel, then hopefully something will match up. But at this point, nothing really matches up. We did hear the term classic rock that came through loud and clear, but again, she wasn't a geologist, she was a botanist. So again, that's the kind of mentality that we're looking for. What I am excited about are the 2 readings that April got on her device. I'm going to explain what those actually mean because we got similar readings from Isabel's device too. In case you notice, we're 1 less again. You guys are dropping like flies on me. So, what those readings actually mean. Those devices are measuring electricity in the air. So if you were to put one of those devices behind your television set, you're going to see some numbers like 40 to 60 milligauss from April's device. That would mean that Isabel's device is going to max out because it only goes to 25. So it will go all the way to red. That's why they use those ones on TV because they're super low quality because they don't go very high. Now, the 12, we actually had a 12 and a 27 show up in a space with no electricity. And then it went away right away. So again, it went up to 12, down to 0, 27, down to 0. Those are the types of spikes that we're looking for. So do we have anything else to kind of go along with that? Not necessarily. It's to kind of show you dangerous levels of how that device actually works. If you're standing next to a microwave that's running with April's device, it's going to be about 150 to 170 milligauss. The highest I've ever seen that device go has been in this space at 214 milligauss. That's like putting your head inside the running microwave. Again, we left. I'm a guy with seizures. I'm not going to play with that. So again, that's going to affect me pretty quickly. We left that night. So kind of keep that in mind. But again, 12 and 27, still nothing to sneeze at. So kind of take that for what you want. Just move my bag closer as people are passing through. By the way, those of you with cameras, feel free to do that successfully tonight. So we're good. All right, so who the heck were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses. You see why we look for the secondary clue at this point? Because I need to know which Chuck we're chatting with. So again, we never know. As far as the son and the nephew, they were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a pretty big deal for us, but I hate politics, as I'm sure most of you do too. So we're going to talk about Eliza. She has a much cooler story than signing pieces of paper. Eliza, she married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. If we're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, it will not be according to the colonial times that she came from. In other words, you're not going to hear answers like 12 and 14. You're going to hear numbers according to today's standards. The reason I bring this up, her husband Charles was over double her age when they married. A creepy age gap in colonial times, definitely a creepy age gap now. So kind of keep that in the back of your brains. But anyway, she married Charles because her father was over in England and he thought he was dying. He wanted to bring all of his children home one last time so he could see them. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. Instead, she gets married in 1744. And you don't get married in 1744 for a green card. She actually fell in love with Charles, so there was that piece. But she also wanted to prove to her father that she's staying put. She's not going to go all the way home for an illness that she didn't believe that was going to kill her. And she was right. Her father did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to this space. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least an hour or 2 that I know of, or you live here. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. Several of you are wearing it tonight because that's how we still use it. So, when she got these seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. So, once she figured it out and experimented with it here, she moved it to another plantation just south of here, called her father up, not really because it's the 1700s, and said, hey Dad, rice plantations are going downhill. We can make a killing with this indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. So, March, yeah, I'm a big hit. Just so you know, we're going to talk about a lot of things you know. Now, with that said, that's her business. You guys are all here for the weird stuff, so let's get into the weird stuff. Everybody has some type of spirit box. As far as yours, Andrew, I want you to pick up on whatever other, because I don't have a set of questions designed for yours yet, and I don't have any common answers. So let's go through the common answers of things I normally get. So with yours, with the word list, as far as that one goes, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. Either kind of a creepy move or a really smart move, depending on how you look at it. His first wife, Eliza, died in January of 1744. The one we just spoke of, he married in May of 1744, 5 months later. So, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Figure out which Eliza we're dealing with by asking for the maiden name. You can can also go with the questions of how old they were when they got married. See if you get any kind of answers out of it. Isabel, your device. I want you going after the children. As far as that goes, I want you to ask how many children and what their names were. Try not to poke any other questions with this one because there's a tragedy among those kids. If we poke the bear, we all know it's going to be you. But again, all activity will stop, including the small EMF bits that we've been getting so far. And as far as, like, you have an extra earbud. She wants to help you out. Give her the extra earbud so that way you two of you can actually listen together and you'll know where to stop based on any blinky lights you're going to see in the space. As far as your spirit box, yours. The mansion's not here anymore. Yours usually gives us 1 to 2 syllable answers, so we're going to keep yours nice and simple. With the mansion not being here, find out what happened to it and when did that happen. So that's going to be your major focus. Let's see. You don't have a spirit box.
I think you're meant her.
And I seen the black
That's
box.
fair. She was listening.
I heard it.
Last questions, anybody that wants to reach out for them would be relative to Eliza's death. So that would be how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral.
Oh.
Again, we're going to be staying within the confines of this space. We're not going to be going in between vehicles, and for those of you with cameras, we do not film vehicles for long periods of time, just keep on moving. So I'm going to be bouncing around with everybody, but I have to work with April first to show her how to use the motion sensor part of her device. So I'll be bouncing around, writing notes down from everybody, but start asking those questions in whatever fashion that you feel comfortable, whether it's out loud or whether it's focusing on them as a group, whatever you're working with. As far as lasers, they are safe in here. No cars. They will set off car alarms. Got it. So, all right, I'm going to work with April. Everybody else, let's spread out. I'm going to do these moments.
Should we go over here? Let's go over here.
Good.
So the question was, what happened to the mansion?
Yes. What happened to your mansion?
So my beams.
What happened to your mansion? Right?
Is yours some words on it? No, I don't know. Is yours on mute? Is it off?
Yeah, you have to take it off mute. Oh shit, dude. Yeah, take it off mute. So, all right, should we ask it again?
What happened to your mansion?
What else are we supposed to ask? How old she is?
I forgot.
Oh no. Well, the other girls were supposed to ask the last name, but I feel like we could ask that too.
How old were you when you died?
Yes, that's a good one.
Radio?
But he said the radio can give the answers sometimes.
Yeah, that seems suspicious.
That's rough.
Don't be suspicious. Maybe the ghosts are trying to do it in code, you know? I feel like he's gonna come over here and be like, you guys are doing it wrong. I'm like, fuck. I just know I can't focus on cars for that long. But I'm also the type that like might completely miss something that like flies right across my face.
So there's no difference between the two lasers, just like in function. It's just like to have two.
I feel like he's gonna clarify when he comes over to us, maybe. But like,
What's your name?
yeah, what's your name?
What do you think about Post Malone's music career? What if he started playing? Now that'd be moving.
That would be sick if they were like, yeah, I like Posty. What are your thoughts on the legalization of marijuana? We're the worst. She's gonna hear all this and be like, Do you? Oh, Katie's off. We need some beverages, Nick. Do you like drink? Do you like drugs? Oh God. Do you ever get nervous? Are you single? I heard you wondering about the situation. Is he with or with you? And I said, hell yeah. Alright. What's he saying?
I just keep getting the radio.
Yeah.
Weren't you supposed to tell him what songs you hear?
I just keep hearing the classic rock.
Maybe that means something.
Yeah, if you keep hearing, yeah, when he comes over, be like, what does rock
Then
mean?
like, actually, Mary gets killed by a rock.
Hey, fuck.
So, wanted to make sure you had that thing unmuted first.
Yes.
Oh,
got
she
that.
unmuted it.
Okay.
Yes.
And we'll see what kind of like cinematographer you are.
Yeah, let's see.
So, the slower the movements from you, the easier it is going to be to watch for everybody, including yourself.
Perfect.
So, I mean, she's already like in a perfect like stance mode. Just keep in mind if people are going to their vehicles, just go the opposite way.
Okay.
You'll get a little weirded out about me being in this lodge. But again, coming here for 3 years, I'm not going to stop now. It gives me a lot of activity. Have you heard anything yet?
Yes.
Just classic.
Classic rock.
Classic, classic.
Is that what you've heard? Like the phrase classic rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they don't hear
Yeah, I'm not going to write that down.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So we'll kind of see what else you get out of it. Again, we only expect about 10 to 12 turns out of that thing total for a
Okay.
whole time together.
Okay.
But when it does come through, again, 75% accuracy is the highest out of any of my devices that I have. That is one of the most. If I tell you a building is haunted, you think of some tragic death. That's not the case here. What's going on is the bullet hole is allegedly still here. Even if Big John, the renovation that we're looking at, filled it in, Big John's blood is now sealed inside the building. People that sit in the front of the bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, or headache, which is part of the reason why we start here. This is kind of the key to the morning. If anybody feels any of those symptoms, I'll need to know immediately. We're going to blame the heat, humidity first. Always. Not everything will be paranormal. Did you guys eat?
Wait, is it
Oh, you
a
guys just had a drink. How was it before you went in?
Yeah. Fine.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
What do you got? Just meat. So hopefully it'll start to spill out Big John. That would be pretty damn amazing, I think. So, kind of see what happens. So, let's get our mind off of our own health, shall we? Because nobody wants to think about getting sick on a tour, right? Because that's not why you're here.
Correct.
We had a big earthquake here, 1886. You didn't already know that from another historical tour, now you do. We all talk about it because we're not supposed to have earthquakes. This is South Carolina, we're supposed to have hurricanes. The white mantle you see in the middle of the building broke off in the front of the building. The piece that broke off hit somebody in the back of the head and killed them. And they say you can see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street in the middle of the night. I don't have any proof of this story. It's just a great segue so nobody thinks about getting sick on the tour, even though I just brought it back up again. Donna, rotating number. I love it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to get somebody next time. Thank you for correcting me. All right. Is everybody ready to go ghost hunting?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, we're going to go this way. Let's do it.
Let's go.
When Chris and I went on the one in Savannah, we didn't see a ghost, but we did see somebody getting hit in the car.
Oh shit.
And don't walk into a pole while you're gonna.
I know, right?
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think it's just when we get to the site.
Yeah. Both lasers. I wish this was like a GoPro so I could just put it on my forehead.
I know, that'd be good. Watch
Oh,
the
yeah.
laser.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Oh, God.
it's off. It's off. She's
Sorry. I didn't really set up car alarms.
yeah, for real.
Oh, I did.
Criminal activity.
So we're gonna stop here. So I go wherever the cars aren't. So I know last time we were actually up there because I watched the video before. So welcome to the Big Red Barn Lot. We're not gonna spend a lot of time here. It's just so we can talk more about your devices and get you a better explanation of what's in your hands or not in your hands.
I heard a ghost sound.
What kind of ghost sound? That's hysterical. So
I mean, you're seeing my device, but
that is funny. So the Big Red Barn Lot. This is where we keep some of your horses for the carriage rides. I'm not writing down ghost sounds. Sorry.
Like talk.
You're gonna hear. I'm gonna explain. So,
Oh my God, there's a ghost.
Again,
That's
this
a
is where we
ghost.
keep some of the horses. We're not. This is why you guys use earbuds with most of your spirit boxes because the horses don't like the white noise. We don't want to scare the hell out of them, and they'll kick that metal wall and they're gonna scare us. So again, this is kind of why we do things very quiet over here. Now, the history here is super simple. I keep it that way on purpose so I can use it as an example to explain your devices further. This is the same Big Red Barn that held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. So, keywords here: delivery, milk, eggs, anything relative to a stable. Let's talk about spirit boxes. We got quite a handful of them out tonight. So, spirit boxes. What's the first question that everybody wants to ask for a Ouija board or a communication device? You guys have seen movies. Come on.
Who are you?
Who are you? What else? Is it your birthday?
that's what I was thinking.
Name.
Name.
What else?
Name, right?
Is anybody here? It's usually
Yeah,
the
that
first
is the
question.
first, yeah.
Why?
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the first.
Right, because you have yes and no on a Ouija board. We are not going to be asking yes and no questions all night long. Here's why. If we ask, is anybody here? And then I'm going to forget names all night long.
Katie.
Katie. If Katie hears the answer of no, that means somebody's here. Somebody answered her. So we are not going to, we're going after the details. Now,
shit.
with that said,
You want to tell the ghosts?
questions I normally give you guys to actually, when you're getting used to these kind of devices, you want to ask questions you already know the answers to. For example, if somebody's here, tell me what color the Big Red Barn is. Obviously the answer is red. We're looking and listening for it. However, I say looking because we actually have a word list that's being generated. So again, with that one, we have to listen. But the rest of you are using song lyrics and DJs to convey messages back to us, or letters. The letters are a little bit of a different story. In the event the word red is not available to a DJ or song lyric to be able to answer our question, fire truck, blood, heart, those three things are specifically red. That would make sense to me. What color is the Big Red Barn? Blood. Good with that. However, most of the night, I'm going to require, just to come close to claiming something is paranormal, at least two things are going on between different devices or even the same device. So, with that said, let's use another example. So, let's say, where's the word list?
Hey, you got some black spots over
Helen.
there,
Yeah.
Black spots behind me?
between the two of you. Been sitting there for a few minutes.
Let me know when they start moving. Right between me and you.
I know there's
So let's say
Let's
Helen's
see,
word list has the word art on it. That doesn't mean anything to us specifically to this location. But then I'm going to use Katie again. So let's say Katie here's the number 40 on her spirit list. Together, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. Does that make sense to everybody as to how we're going to be piecing all of these clues together and the weird things you're going to be hearing? You people with the spirit boxes with the radio stations, it's going to be the weirdest, silliest thing that you're not going to think is mean anything. But if you hear drop it like it's hot, or if you hear welcome to Charleston, these are the things I want to know. If you hear drop it like it's hot, it could mean that there was a fire in the location of where we're standing. But again, I'm looking for that
Fair
secondary verifier to be able to verify what's actually going on. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So again, not all of you are going to know everything that's going to be happening. Let's talk about the cameras. So Ari, first thing, two things for you. Try to keep one of us in view. Again, we're going to be the warmest thing out here, so that's why I make the joke at the beginning, so you remember that. And that kind of gives you that array of color. And as far as both cameras go, we do not want to be filming people's vehicles and or people's residences. So I'll always give you the cues of when we're going to be in spaces like this. You don't want to focus on somebody's car for too long. The other thing you're going to try to do, keep the sky out. The sky, if you remember, actually doesn't have a surface on it, so that blue dot is going to default to the sky. So when you guys are watching your video, in some places that's going to be impossible for Ari, so kind of give him a break. So if it does default to the sky, at that point we'll be looking for the blue and black spots that start taking shape or moving on their own. Now, Annie.
Yes.
Let's get those lasers out. So, Nikki, here's at the point where you're actually going to point one at the ground for us, out of the sky. You don't want to be calling down planes. So, don't give the lasers to the wrong people.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
you're actually in a perfect spot. I normally tell people you want to be about 2 to 5 feet away. You're looking for something in here, not on the ground. You don't want to be pointing the camera down at it because we already know what the green dots look like. So if you're going to use them together, use them side by side. The reason for that is because if you cross the streams, Ghostbuster joke everybody, you're making one giant grid. So therefore it's pointless. So this way we actually have 2 spots where the ghost can actually pass through, and hopefully we're going to be able to capture something on camera. So the slower the 2 of you move in unison together, the much easier it will be to actually find an anomaly. Alright, and lasers are not always going to be in a safe space, so just so you have that idea, that's why I kind of like, oh, where's the red laser? But that's part of the reason why I gave you guys the open air spirit box, so that way, you know, when you guys are out of commission, you can all listen to the open air spirit box to see what you guys are actually capturing.
That you.
So, you guys ready to get away from football players and ponies? I know I am. Alright, let's go on
Yes,
some history.
let's do it. Where do we go next?
How's your wordless come?
Let's go.
I don't know if it's related to Underbed.
I'm not quite sure yet.
You're supposed to film my
I'm filming for ghosts. Katie's listening. If any of them like weed, I mean, they're gonna come flocking. That's what I got here.
It's getting too hot. You can leave it in the car. That way Nick feels,
Trying to find a ghost. Can you imagine if I brought Stitch on this? My dog.
I'm not going near him. He yells about lasers.
What?
On the street,
Ghostbusters.
probably coming from the parking lot.
Okay.
Stitch has like an affinity for spirits. I feel like
Good
you
catch.
see him.
I love it. April, did you have any numbers show up yet?
Not anything like.
Oh,
That
2.4.
just went to 2.4 from 0.
5 and higher is what I'll start recording. So I will talk more about that. Alright, so welcome to your first space. Let's circle up a little bit because I gotta give you some history here
Ooh, a history
before we actually get
lesson.
started.
Oh shit.
You can kill your lasers because your arms are probably gonna get tired as I separate you guys out a little bit. Alright, so welcome to your basically your first location, everybody. You're welcome to a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. So, what is this place? This used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with the Fried Cook restaurant and came all the way across. Basically lined up with that little small pad over there. Where we're standing, this is the servant and slave quarters for the home. I would like to give you a basic layout of the land before we actually get started with the history. So first off, spirit boxes. I am not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the red barn. You will be getting the answers from your spirit boxes, and yes, I'm going to withhold information on purpose, so that way everybody has a genuine experience. I try to put at least one. Make sure we're going to be of the humanities. So it's already recording. You and I will. I'll show you how to do the starts and stops on that when we're ready for it. But I want to get this thing recording just so we can actually make it keep going.
Look, Katie, look.
Let's see.
Look at me. Look at it.
Let's get the accompanying item out of the way, just so that I don't mess that up.
Come behind me.
I like it. I'm a Ghostbuster.
Alright, so this is the neuralizer from Men in Black. Yes, that joke still works, everybody. So none of you are going to remember anything by the time we're done. We're working with lasers here. Lasers, the whole point of lasers is that you can't see the lasers until something passes through it. The camera I just handed over to Annie. Actually, this thing lights up like the Christmas tree over there. So, she's going to have a person from her party basically helping out to detect any kind of motion. In the event something passes through it, I'm going to give you the still from it, and we'll kind of see what actually it is. There's going to be 2 different types of lasers. The second one is actually going to give us red squares. The red squares, in the event something passes through it here, I can take that still from the camera, put it in 3D software, and give you a full 3D view of what we caught along with measurements. So I've had this guy for about a year now. The software hasn't been able to take the blurry photos we've had yet, but hopefully tonight is our night. So, I'm trying to remember who's who here.
There's Nikki.
Nikki, you're gonna get both lasers. When
Oh,
you're using
Oh,
you
she
want to make
got
sure it's
both.
always touching your toe unless I direct you otherwise.
Okay.
This one has a toggle switch, so once it's on, it's on. You have to be careful how you move it.
Okay.
There is a laser law in Charleston. Don't get me arrested.
Take care.
Oh boy.
I got very simple lasers.
No, that's
What if I just saw a fucking like figure? Okay.
I'll take a second one.
What? I might.
I need to make sure I don't fall.
They were actually pretty fun. I enjoyed the one.
I set up everything so you really don't have to do much. Just go like that.
I feel like bringing Stitcher here would just stress me
So,
out because I feel like he
spirit
would start
boxes.
like
We're going to be using several different types of spirit boxes tonight. Spirit boxes are a way for us to communicate with the dead.
Yep.
So,
Yes,
if you're
yes,
unfamiliar
yes, that's for you.
with spirit boxes, because you don't watch TV shows or YouTube videos, in a nutshell, this is the white noise that you would normally hear on television. And then your host is going to tell you what he thinks he heard in the middle of it. We're going to do this a little bit differently because capturing disembodied voices like they do on TV doesn't actually happen 12 per episode. They get about 4 or 6 of those per year. So again, very small amount versus what you guys are capturing or hearing on your TV shows. So I have these slowed down on purpose for the specific reason of the radio chatter allowing to come through. So the person listening to this is going to have an earbud in. Whatever, like the song lyrics, the commercials, the DJs, whatever comes through, it's a 50-50 shot if we can make it out. It's tied to our location, a person in history we're discussing, or even something going on with one of you guys.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. So again, it definitely happens all the
That one
time.
hit us last time.
Yeah. Now this is the one you guys had last time. So with this one, it's recording. Tomorrow morning, even though the person wearing it now is going to have an earbud in, the recording is going to go to everybody, and I'm going to spot check this guy for 15 to 25 more markers based on whatever I find in there. If it's relevant, I will always give you a link to be able to verify the information. Again, I'm not hiding anything here. Everything is based off of fact. So, you look a little scared. Exactly what I'm thinking. So, you're like timid a little bit. That's all. Here,
I'm
you're
afraid
right.
I might hear something.
Okay, what we want. Earwax is first. You get to keep those. I don't know. So, undo your twist tie. Your volume button is revealed at the top. So that
How
one.
much can the lasers?
Let's see.
You're trying to catch a spirit.
You're gonna see it run through my
Yeah.
red laser.
Yeah. It's gonna run through the laser.
This corner.
Just as fast as 2 feet.
Legend
The next
says you
spirit
can hear the
box.
bones cracking.
Will it show me hitting my pen?
So, the next spirit box we don't actually have to listen to. This guy's going to give us words from time to time in the center of the screen. So, in a nutshell, this is going to replace the obelisk that you would normally see on your TV shows. The last tour I did, which would have been 3 rainy days ago, there was actually 77 terms that actually popped up. 92 is what you're going with today?
Yep.
Now, Ari actually guessed the exact amount that we got on his specific tour the last time he was with me.
Oh, shit.
The exact number. And it was
All right,
103, which is an excessive amount for a 2-hour time frame. So, he's going to go with 92. So, here's how this guy works. Is scanning through the radio stations the same way of the one that I just handed over. So, it is also looking for recognizable terms to put on the screen. This is a phone app. 80% of this is going to be garbage. I'm just going to put it out there right away. The other 5 to 20% is going to be relevant to our location, a person in history, something going on with one of us. It happens all the time. So this way, we're going to get the whole list, and I'm going to send you the whole list. Again, if it's relevant, I'm going to give you the link to be able to show you that it's relevant. So with that said, nice and easy, right?
Oh.
That's gonna touch my head.
I'm going to get this one. This is the brand new device. I had this less than a month, and it's only been on the paranormal market for less than, we'll say, 3 months. So yeah, this one's going to go to you guys. So what is this guy? It's another type of spirit box, but basically it's running through the alphabet, and hopefully that any EMF spikes are going to make it stop on letters. In a nutshell, it is a digital Ouija board. So it's going to save the letters to the bottom row. Now with that said, it's going to erase those letters, so I'll have to keep checking in with this person. Now has this thing been super active for me just yet? Not necessarily. I've been using it less than a month. So again, hopefully we get some initials, a full word. We never know what's actually going to pop out. So Andrew, I think this one's actually going to go to you, my friend. You look very
It's
sick.
your birthday.
Happy fucking birthday. I can ask if it's its birthday as well.
So, this guy, the next spirit box. This guy is going to scan through both the FM and AM radio stations simultaneously, and hopefully it's going to eliminate any white noise that's coming through the red spirit box that's recording and only give us words.
Ooh.
We get about 10 to 12 turns out of this guy per night, and it's about 75% accurate. So the hope here is that we're going to be able to capture quite a few words out of this guy. So with this one, I'm actually going to hand this one off to you, so that way all three of you can listen, and it doesn't record. So try to stick close to Annie, so that way, in case you miss something, it'll be on the audio recording of the actual camera. So again, the only thing you need to worry about is how to hold it. Your speaker's down here. This is where you're going to listen from.
Okay.
The blinking lights are at the top. On the right is the only button. It's the mute button. It's on mute now because we're going to be passing ponies soon. I don't want to disturb any horses. So again, we're going to leave it on mute. I'll let you know when it's safe to unmute.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Get it, girl. You got an important job. Don't fuck it up. That's very you.
We do work.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. It is.
Getting names right. Look at me go. So, you guys have seen these on TV, right? So these are your blinky lights that they use to determine if a ghost is nearby. So with this one, we use this to debunk a lot of things. I'm going to use this to debunk any kind of wiring. Cell phones are too close to it, so forth and so on. In the event you get erratic colors on here, you don't need to do anything besides just let me know what colors you see.
Okay, I can do that.
And ask for something simple. I'm giving you something
that
simple. So, again, just let me know what colors you see. I already have the colors memorized as far as what the measurement means, and I'm going to compare it to another device. So that one
Get it, Donna.
All right. So, April, you're last. Because you have so much experience, you're getting the multi-tool, which is the millimeter. Did you guys see this last time on your tour? Where it has multi-function?
Yeah, that was the one that did the heat and everything, right?
So this has got the same thing in it, like the blinky lights that I just handed Miss Donna, only it's in digital format. Anything above 2.5, I want to know what's going on so we can kind of debunk or prove what's actually happening. The bottom is ambient temperature. In the event Ari finds something on the camera, you and I are going to debunk it or prove it pretty quickly with the yellow probe at the top. So that way we can actually see if we have a legitimate cold spot or not. And last but not least is the REM pod. That's the motion sensor. In the event something gets close to the antenna that I just pulled out, it's going to go off. I'm not touching it right now. It's a little sensitive today. Wow.
Oh, dang.
But normally it would go straight to green. There we go. Yeah. There we go. I'm touching it now. You and I will talk more about that at the second stop once we get to the Pinckney Mansion site. For now, get used to those numbers that are on there. All right, everybody's geared up that wanted to be geared up, correct?
Yes.
All right.
I love the backpack.
So, we start here for a reason. Of course we do. The place behind me is haunted. That's why we start here. So,
Fair enough.
Big John.
Fair enough. Big
For
John.
dinner or what have you, where most of you just came from. So, Big John's was named after a football player. It was his bar. His name was Big John Kennedy. Now you know why they named it Big John's. He played for the 1947 New York Giants. Whenever I'm giving you the history of a building or a location, I will always slow down on specific keywords. The keywords here are going to be 47, New York, Giants, and anything relative to a bar and the name John. Wow, it got really loud on this corner all of a sudden. I know, right? So, with that said, here's why the place is haunted. Big John used to sit in the back of the bar on this side. He used to basically tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, two guys came in. They're not old enough to drink. So he has the bartender throw them out. They come back the next night and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John saw what was going on. He slammed down his beer and went over and just started beating the hell out of these guys. I mean, just pounding on the floor. A couple of gunshots went off. John got grazed in the neck, but the bullet landed behind him in the wall. So, John, being the only one that's been shot, gets up, goes back to the bar, and tells the bartender to get him another beer, get the two guys